The legend says that during the construction of one of America's most iconic hotels, a horrifying discovery was made. The stories say they found bones, not just a few, but hundreds. The site, it turns out, was a sacred, ancient burial ground. But instead of stopping construction, the order was simple: just build over them. Now, decades later, some believe the hotel's guests are paying the price. These are the terrifying encounters the hotel doesn't want you to know about. Some places are born from elegance, designed for luxury and leisure, but others, legend says, are built on a foundation of something much, much darker. On Michigan's Mackinaw Island, a place where time seems to stand still and horse-drawn carriages are the only way to get around, sits the majestic Grand Hotel. It's welcomed presidents and movie stars, and its 660-foot porch, a world record holder, is a symbol of Victorian splendor. But behind that Gilded Age facade lies a chilling story, one the hotel would much rather forget. The tale, passed down through generations of islanders and whispered among staff, is that the Grand Hotel was knowingly built right on top of a desecrated cemetery. While you won't find this in the official history books, the legend has persisted for over a century. It's fueled by countless paranormal encounters and an unshakable feeling that the hotel's first residents, well, they never really left. Today, we're peeling back the pristine wallpaper to uncover the haunting of the Grand Hotel, a place so active it's notorious for turning away paranormal investigators who want to get a closer look. If you believe some stories deserve to be told, no matter how unsettling, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what we uncover next. Long before the Grand Hotel was even a blueprint, Mackinac Island was sacred ground for the Anishinaabe peoples, who used it as a final resting place for their dead. Its name, Michilimackinac, even means Great Turtle, referencing the island's shape, which they saw as a symbol of life and creation. But in the late 19th century, as tourism boomed, a group of railroad and steamship companies saw an opportunity for a different kind of creation, a massive, luxurious summer palace. Construction began in 1886, and that's where the legend takes its darkest turn. The story that's been told for over 130 years is that as workers dug the foundations, their shovels hit something other than rock and soil. They hit bone. Hundreds of human skeletons were supposedly unearthed. It's said the remains were so numerous that the overwhelmed crews gave up on trying to move them. An order was given to just keep building. The hotel's foundation was laid directly over the sacred burial ground. Now, let's be clear, there's no concrete archaeological proof that this mass discovery happened during the hotel's construction in 1887. Many view it as powerful folklore. However, the island itself keeps proving it holds secrets in its soil. For instance, back in 2011, during an excavation for a completely different project downtown, a large number of human bones were, in fact, discovered. These remains were identified as likely belonging to members of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa Indians, confirming that ancient burial sites are indeed scattered across the island. This discovery doesn't prove the Grand Hotel legend, but it lends it a chilling plausibility. It begs the question, what other truths lie buried just beneath the surface? For many, the answer isn't a matter of if, but who. Who were the spirits whose eternal rest was so violently disturbed? And what are they trying to tell the guests who now sleep above their graves. A building with a dark origin story like that is bound to have ghost stories. The Grand Hotel doesn't just have one, it seems to host an entire cast of them. For decades, guests and staff have shared stories of paranormal phenomena. Unexplained cold spots, the faint smell of cigars in the smoke-free hotel bar, and the sound of a piano playing in an empty room are considered common occurrences. One of the most frequently reported apparitions is an elegantly dressed man in a top hat, often seen in the hotel's cupola bar. Sometimes he's looking out the window. Other times, he's near the piano. Staff have smelled his cigar smoke in the air long after he vanishes. He seems to be a harmless, if sad, spirit, forever enjoying an afterlife that mirrors the Gilded Age he came from. A more unsettling figure is the Lady in Black. She's seen after dark, walking the length of the hotel's famous front porch. What makes her story so fascinating is that she's often seen with a large white dog. This detail has captivated paranormal researchers because spectral animals are rare, suggesting a powerful bond that even death couldn't break. But not all of the hotel's reported entities are so peaceful. One of the most terrifying tales involves a shapeless, shadowy mass seen in the hotel's theater. Years ago, a maintenance worker claimed he was working on the stage when a black mist with glowing red eyes formed in the auditorium. He said the entity rushed him, knocked him to the ground, and caused him to black out. He was reportedly so traumatized by the event that he never returned to work. Then there are the personal encounters. A guest in room 200 reported an unshakable feeling of being watched all night, a suffocating presence that made sleep impossible. Another guest in the lobby felt a bizarre swaying, as if the whole building were moving, followed by the terrifying feeling of invisible hands grabbing at their throat. Employees in staff housing have their own stories. One worker felt the bunk bed above him sag as if someone sat on it. He looked up to see a woman in a full white Victorian dress sitting on the top bunk, just watching him, before she vanished into thin air. There's even a story about the ghost of a little girl named Rebecca, who is said to wander the fourth floor between 2 and 4 a.m., a lost, lonely figure who disappears as quickly as she appears. What would you do if you saw a figure in your room? Would you run, or would you try to understand? Let me know in the comments below. With this many paranormal claims, you'd think the Grand Hotel would be a hotspot for ghost hunters and TV shows. But you won't find any. The hotel is well known for discouraging paranormal investigations. This is pretty unusual. Many historic and supposedly haunted places, like the Stanley Hotel or the Queen Mary, lean into their spooky reputations. They offer ghost tours and use their paranormal fame to attract visitors. The Grand Hotel does the exact opposite. Employees are said to be discouraged from talking about the hauntings, and requests from professional paranormal teams are consistently denied. This leads to the obvious question: why? One theory is that the hotel is worried about its image. The Grand Hotel has spent over a century building a reputation for luxury and family-friendly elegance. Maybe they think being known as one of America's most haunted places would tarnish that brand and scare off high-paying guests. Another possibility is just being considerate of the guest experience. Paranormal investigations, with all their gear and late-night stakeouts, can be disruptive. Management might simply want to keep a peaceful atmosphere for all its guests, living or not. But there's a more fascinating theory. What if the hotel's management actually believes the stories? What if they know spirits roam their halls and have decided not to exploit them? It's possible the ban is a sign of respect for the dead, a quiet acknowledgement that the ground they're on is sacred and shouldn't be disturbed any more than it already has been. By refusing to turn a tragic history into entertainment, maybe they're trying to give the spirits the peace they were denied so long ago. Whatever the reason, the policy has only made the mystery deeper. By trying to quiet the stories, the Grand Hotel has accidentally made them louder. The forbidden nature of the topic makes every whispered tale from a former employee, every chilling online review from a guest, feel that much more real. It creates the sense that something is truly happening within those walls, something the hotel doesn't want the rest of the world to see. So, where does that leave us? On one hand, we have the powerful legend of a hotel built on desecrated graves. On the other, we have countless consistent stories of spectral figures, shadowy entities, and sorrowful ghosts. The hotel's strict refusal to allow any kind of formal investigation just adds another layer to the mystery. Is the hotel haunted by spirits whose final resting place was carelessly built over? Do the limestone and water surrounding the island act as a kind of supernatural battery, as some paranormal experts theorize, holding onto the energy of the past? Or are these stories just the product of overactive imaginations, fueled by the hotel's dramatic history and the island's isolated feel? Without the ability to properly investigate, we may never know for sure. The spirits of the Grand Hotel remain its best-kept secret, their stories protected by a wall of silence. But the encounters continue, year after year, passed from guest to guest, employee to employee. The ghosts seem to remain, waiting in the long, silent hallways, a permanent and chilling reminder that some foundations are built on more than just wood and stone. They're built on bones, and those bones have a story to tell. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more journeys into the world's most haunted locations. Until next time, stay curious.